meeting of the Hennessey Town Board of Trustees, January 13th, 2026. Roll call, please.
She's not here.
Pardon?
Hold on just a minute. Shelley's not in here.
Oh,
I'm not on that page. He's ready. He's already did roll call, or calling for roll call.
I didn't know you were out of the room.
I was getting ready to hop over there.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Bert,
Here.
Harold,
Here.
David.
Here.
Okay, report from Town of Hennessey ad hoc agencies.
We logged a little over 50 hours for the month of December with all the Christmas activities for the Discover Hennessey program. And we're already like 15 hours into this month for all of the spring activities and things like that are coming.
Okay.
Hennessey United, I went, because Barb wasn't there and Harold wasn't there, so, just some things, the banquet, they're trying to decide whether they're gonna go with a banquet or just a Citizen of the Year award ceremony. The car show, Jack announced that the car show is gonna be April 25th. So, and then they picked colors to paint the hat, so that was pretty much it.
Did they have a quorum?
I don't know if they did or not.
I didn't
Oh,
think that,
yeah, I don't think they did.
no, I'm surprised they met. Okay, I didn't think they were gonna meet, okay.
Okay. Consider approval of consent agenda. 3.1, approval of minutes. Hold on. Computer just blacked out. Okay, approval of minutes of previous month meeting. Approval of claims as follows. General fund, $63,991.74. Restricted sales tax fund, $149,912.89. Cemetery care, 0. Juvenile fund, 0. Library fund, $474.04. Street and alley fund, 0. Previous month's claims, $2,517.60. Court, $5. Town treasurer's report. And approved budget amendments. Do we have budget amendments?
I emailed them to you today, just a while ago, because Tammy did them, and I was at a budget meeting today. So I just got back right before the meeting, so.
Okay.
There's some for the general fund and for the restricted. The restricted's gonna cover some addition, because the car was actually budgeted out of the previous year, the police car, and so we went ahead and did a budget amendment for that.
Is it here?
Yes. The police car is here and both public works pickups are here now. That's why the restricted is so high.
Okay.
And then there was some general fund ones.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on those? Because I didn't see them.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't see them either.
You can pull those and not approve them until next time if you want to. It's up to you guys.
Okay. Why don't we do that? Is everybody okay with that? I'd have a chance to look at them. Okay, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of the budget amendments.
Second.
Roll call?
Bert,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
I'm sorry, and Harold.
Yes.
Okay, town administrators report, Tiffany.
There's citizens' comments.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Citizens' comments. Anybody got anything? Y'all just here for the entertainment? Okay, town administrator report.
Also in the email with the budget amendments is the quarterly financial report that you'll review when you get that email. Tammy didn't get it to us till late yesterday, because she can't do it until bank reconciliations are done.
Right.
Also, I have the managers and myself, we're working on the 1, 3, 5-year plans, updates, what they've completed, what they, want to add, different things. They're supposed to give me those by February 6th. My question is to you guys, do we want to do a work session on it like we've done probably 3, 4 years ago? Where we go item by item with each department and kind of give input and different things like that. So,
I personally think that was helpful.
so then I can start working on.
What's your thoughts?
I thought it was helpful also. I will say this, though. I had just been elected and was not on the board yet, but I did
I
attend.
remember that, yeah.
It helped me as a new guy, for sure. And I would like to attend if we do it. I would be there. I'm not saying that I need an 8 or 9 hour day of it.
Yeah, and I think the other one was pretty long.
Yeah, it was an all day
Yeah, it
thing.
was fairly long, and I had overslept and was late, so, sorry.
What's your thoughts, Harold?
I think we need one.
Okay, so I'll start working on that. I won't have the stuff until February 6th, so it'll be sometime in February or March. We're also starting to work on, as soon as the budget, that's another reason why I've asked for the 1, 3, 5-year, 10-year, is because we're gonna be working on budget starting in March. I've asked that the managers give me like their wants, by our managers meeting in March, so we can start deciding where we're at with that.
Great.
I will be at the city managers conference, winter conference next week, Wednesday through Friday. And then, I think that is it. Yes.
Back to the planning conference, does it have to be on a Saturday?
We do it on a Saturday so it can accommodate people who are, instead of doing a night, cause it can people get tired and stuff like that, but also so we can accommodate the public and, our board members that work.
I understand. Not complaining. Lots of coffee.
So,
Okay, is that it, Tiffany?
yes.
Okay. Item 6, other scheduled business. Discuss, approve, deny, reject, and or take action on the following. 6.1 is discussion with possible action on new town of Hennessey travel policy.
So this travel policy, I had emailed it out to you guys a couple of weeks ago just to get your eyes on it. First off, what I did is I took Kingfishers and pretty much did that, changed up a few things. Also looked, Chat GPT also gave us one, so I kind of did those two. But it's just pretty much following the GSA.gov travel policies, per diem rates. Because you can go in there and you can put where you're at in Oklahoma. Like right now, in 2026, the hotel rates per night is at $116 for the Oklahoma area.
Okay.
Meals, I can't remember. It's like so much for breakfast, lunch, or so much per day for that. But on this, if it's overnight stay, then you would pay 75% the first and last day of travel. Meals for single day would be without an overnight, then they can just reimburse with a receipt based on the IRS rules. Also, the reimbursement for the meals are taxable if they don't have an overnight stay. So that's one thing that I found for the IRS guidelines. Mileage is set usually every 6 months on the IRS, and so that's pretty much. If you guys had any changes, I can make changes, but I would like to implement this as well as, possibly another item on here into the employee handbook. So if this was approved with changes or we, revisit, then I would bring the employee handbook back to you guys with it to approve the handbook with the changes.
Any discussion?
I was good with it.
Tried to make it really simple.
I make a motion to approve the town of Hennessey travel policy as presented.
Second,
Roll
Bird,
call. Yes.
Harold,
yes.
David.
Yes.
Okay, 6.2, discussion with possible action to approve lease agreement with Hennessey Senior Citizens.
So the senior citizens, their lease, we did it a while back, and in the lease agreement that we had, it said that they would be responsible for the electric and the utilities. And so we've pretty much, took on the utilities, per the vote of the board. And so we just needed to kind of clean up the contract. I did send, or the lease agreement, I did send it. Did you have any?
Yeah, no real comments on it. I think the only thing is we probably still want to bring it back annually to approve,
Okay.
even though it says it just continues, just to get that oversight on it.
The center has questions about the indemnification in there. It's highlighted in it, it was highlighted. Would they be liable for, say, the guttering outside, which is the city's responsibility, falls on somebody, would they be responsible, for that? Also, if it's rented out to somebody, I told her I didn't think so, but it would be the city, but,
Well, everybody's gonna get named in the lawsuit. Chances are the city's, the town's the one that's got the funds, so that's where anything would actually come back on, practically speaking, but of course, we just remember that indemnification's between the town and the Senior Citizens Center or the group. So that doesn't stop me that the gutter falls on from naming both of you, and then you guys get to fight and figure out who's gonna pay for it. So, I don't think the way it is worded there, it's gonna end up being that big of a deal either way.
Then I'll just take it back to our board of trustees, and then we'll be ready to sign for it on our end with those changes that we've made in there. And then we'll owe you our $1 rent for the year.
another thing that's in there is internet. Because we've talked about needing a bigger place to meet, and with everything, that would be a place for the town to be able to have their board meetings if needed. So if we get all lined up, the internet would come in handy for us to be able to have the meetings down there. So that's one thing that I told her, that the town then would provide the internet, because we would be wanting to use it.
And the nice thing about that is that we are getting we haven't had anything that we had up there on computer. When we get it on computer, then we can actually start to do our ordering, our wage, our salary, all that can be put on the computer. And also several, like the Golden Eagles have asked that, could they, someone's donated us a TV, if we could put it on, hook it to internet, then we could have that, and then they could also use it to show slides and films and all for some of the meetings that we have there. So the internet really then, even our new computer we just bought, the first thing to set it up, it says set it up on your internet account, so it really would be, I think, used by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just down the road, one of the things we'd like to do, some people have already asked to do it, is to do their payments, like either, what do you call it, Vimo or something, we could do it, but we still need an internet to be able to get a lot of that done. So, you
Okay.
guys are good, we appreciate the internet.
I make a motion to approve the lease agreement with Hennessey Senior Citizens.
Second.
Bird,
Thank you.
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
6.3, discussion with possible action to make improvements to Senior Citizen Center using the Sam Snyder Trust Fund.
So, they've come to us with some improvements. They've met with the health department, and so these are some of the things that they need. And so the Sam Snyder money has been there. The only thing that the town has used it in the past 20 years is when we remodeled the library. We were able to use some of it then. But it was mainly for library, museum, and the senior center. So I felt like this would be a place that we could use the Snyder Fund.
For that list I provided a request, we requested about, if the city would put up about 20, somewhere under $2,500, $2,000 to $2,500. But several of the things that we would get would be the things that are attached to the building, would stay with the building. If we ever, up and left, we wouldn't be able to take the stuff off the wall or so those would stay with the city. And then what we're using for, out of the funds that we make there for the center are the other items that, the stainless steel tables, you have to get a new refrigerator. So so that's what I made, is a list of the things that the city would buy, then our program would buy the other ones. So it's a split cost.
How much do we have available, Tiffany?
Hold on just a second, Lynn.
The only other little bit of update from what I had provided with the listing is that our plumber just came in today and thought the plumbing of the sinks may go a little higher than what I had estimated on here. So I had originally said, we'd be about 2,100, so it's probably gonna be a little closer, like 2,500 to get all the plumbing done. I mean, the plumbing and the new sinks and a new hand washing station.
So the Snyder is right at a little over 38,000 in the Snyder.
The reason I'm asking, I would like to explore the possibilities of even doing more renovation. That carpeting has been there forever. I would like to see, and we would just have to get a contractor or somebody to come in and look at some of these things. But one of the things that would appeal to me, if we could cordon off part of that so we're not heating and cooling that entire area every day. Sliding accordion door or something of that nature. But just to get some input, how big a hurry are you in to get, are you under the gun with the health department to get some of I know how they can.
So the three things that we asked for are the three kitchen items, and it's basically the new sink and the new hand washing sink.
Okay.
And then a stainless steel table that goes between them. Those three things would be, no matter what else we do in the rest of the
Okay.
center, those really
That's
would
not
be
gonna be
taken
a
care of. The big cost savings for us as an organization would be, we're paying about $255 a month for that dishwashing station. And we're not getting nearly the benefit out of it that it was designed for. That there's a
Is that on
contract,
monthly lease?
it's a monthly lease.
Oh, wow.
And the people who have it don't sell it, they will do leases, because basically they want you to buy their chemicals. That's what you're buying. The health inspector said, just go to a simple little 3-compartment sink, use your own Dawn, hand washing. You don't need all that, chemicals are not required, and not those heavy chemicals from the company. So we would save $255 a month just by switching the sinks. And we're not really getting the sink right now is only about this deep. So we have to literally wash them in one sink across the room, bring them over, and then put them through the sanitizer. That's all. So it's a really cumbersome right now. And so that was the recommendation, but we could do that. To your point though, we just, with Saturday being our fun day that we got scheduled, which all of y'all are invited to come from 3 to 6, just games and all, we decided, last week we rented a rug cleaner and we cleaned that carpet in there. And it made a lot of mud in the carpet cleaner, but if we feel like we didn't even barely touch the surface on that carpet. So it definitely is a time for the carpet and tile and all to be changed. So that's part of our Saturday during our fun day when we're making out announcements and things. Those are some things we say, like in the future, that's what we want donations to do, to help us to do, is give the whole place a new spruce up.
Okay.
A remodel.
This is just getting us
I
out
see-
the
yeah, I
apartment.
understand.
This is just
understand that.
getting that part done.
I understand that now.
And
Yeah,
why on
better
our
than I
side,
did.
there's the stainless steel tables and all, they ask us, they basically said, we need to get the wood out of the kitchen. And we have all wood shelves and wood tables, so the first thing we need, that we're going to be buying from our side is new stainless steel products. So from our point of view, where the city gets the money, it's totally up to the city to decide. We just like $2,500.
That, and the reason I ask about the Sam Snyder Trust Fund, it is so tightly restricted on what it can be used for. And senior citizens is one of the things he named in his will that the town could use that for. And I, honestly, Tiffany, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of too many other things we would have coming up that we could even use that money for. And
I mean, I have to that, Bert. I think our idea on some of it, as we talk about some remodeling in there and redecorating part of it, paint the walls, is literally to make it.
but when you said fun day, I thought you wanted us to come, you're gonna put a paintbrush in our hand.
That's what. Yes, that would
That's
be the other
later.
part, but no, that's not that kind of fun. No, but we are looking at that. Literally, our idea, we want to go with have more community input, is that we can go to more of almost an 89ers theme in the whole place, so that the place would be more, not museum-like, but, reflect the history of the town, is how we would like to see it decorated.
Okay.
I'm not part of this, I want to be part of this discussion and tell you what these 4 women, and she's 3.5 of those, have done over there. They've done a great job,
I agree.
super job.
I agree.
I'm just on that committee, but they're the workers.
They're the get it done people.
They're on their hands and knees scrubbing the floors. I witnessed it.
Yes.
Good. I make a motion that we make the improvements to the Senior Citizen Center as presented using funds from the Sam Snyder Trust Fund.
Second.
Just for clarification, what's the dollar amount on that, since it's not,
It's
I
just,
know it's just kind of,
Right now, it's $21.45, and if we add that extra one that we just were told today, would take it up to about right at 2,500.
Should that be in the
Not to exceed
motion?
Not to
2,500.
exceed.
Not to exceed 2,500.
Okay.
Okay.
fair.
Bird,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Thank you all, we really do appreciate it.
thank you.
We appreciate what you all are doing.
And do join us on Saturday, 3 to 6. We're gonna have fun.
Thank you.
I can't promise you'll win a bingo game, but you'll have fun playing it.
I'm gonna go just play bingo.
Okay, 6.4, discussion with possible action to accept the JAG-LLE 2025 grant.
This right here is the police department put in for, I can't remember what the JAG, it's something, Attorney General's, Justice of something. Anyway, in the past, we've gotten vests with this. They actually put in for a new computer for their a server for their program, their reporting program. And so it was like $7,000 so that they received, on this grant. And it's, zero match.
Awesome.
So that doesn't have that. Hold on. Let me get back here. 9370 is what they got.
With no match.
No match.
That's awesome.
So, and it lists that they got the server, they're also getting gloves, because they need to restock some of their gloves, and then a medic kit to go into the car.
Sorry. I make a motion to accept the, JAG-LLE 2025 grant.
Second.
Roll call?
Bert,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes,
Item 6.5, discussion with possible action to act on EMS contract.
So, as you've seen in Enid newspaper and different things, that Life has supposedly sold to Mercy. I know that the Life employees are now, or former Life employees are now wearing Mercy uniforms and things like that. But I will tell you that per our contract, they're supposed to give us a 45-day notice of any type of change, or if they're no longer gonna provide us service. We have not received any type of official notice. We haven't been contacted by Life, we have not been contacted by Mercy, none of it. So we're still going on like we
Like
have been.
things have always
Yes.
gone on, correct?
Yes.
Because I see the ambulance go by and I think,
Yes. So they're still operating here. We have not heard anything.
don't we even know who's operating here?
They're showing up in Mercy uniform, so it has to be the Mercy people.
Okay.
So that's what I've been told by my firemen. So,
Okay.
one of the things, when we heard about all of this, it's been going on, like rumors have been flying for about 4 months. So we've been kind of watching it and seeing if they would get a hold of us, any type of, what was gonna go on. We've just heard that they said that they would not serve us because unless we pretty much doubled the price. So that would put us from 17,000 to 34,000 a month. So we're just trying to, right now, we're in talks with the county, just different things of how that can be supplemented if, when we do, or if we do get a letter from them stating, we can't provide you service at this rate, we've got to figure out how to supplement that, if it's gonna be considerably high.
I
So-
agree.
One of the things that we're talking with the county with is the county can implement a 522 district. Everyone in the county is in the Kingfisher 522 district. Hennessy's the only one who doesn't participate, the Hennessey School District. So that's one type of revenue source, or one type of revenue that could help subsidize this. It's gonna take, if what they're saying is true, and it's gonna go up to $35,000 to $40,000 a month, then the town can't support that
No way.
themselves alone.
We've
to
got a
supply-
dedicated sales tax for that, that's not bringing anywhere close to that.
No, and so that would, and that is for the, the city is supplying ambulance service to the whole Hennessey School District.
Correct.
So we would need some type of supplement, so that's what we've been talking. I wanted to fill you guys in because I know the Kingfisher paper ran something, but it's just, we're just talking with them at this point. We don't know nothing. We're trying to get our game plan, together. We're trying to get all of the pros, the cons with, if we was to create a 520, ask the county to do a 522 district, and we're trying to get everything aligned. But I wanted to be transparent and let you guys know what was going on.
And they have to give us which in the EMS world, 45 days isn't long. If they gave us notice that we have to come up with another way to provide services, because I don't want to see our citizens be without emergency medical service for 15 minutes, let alone,
And if they was to come and say,
Days.
hey, 45 days from today, we're no longer gonna provide you service, we do have some options out there. I did talk to Tammy with Crawford's that, with it being a temporary, a temporary fix, would we have to go out to bid? We would not. The board would decide, at that point, who we would pay. We do have a couple of services who told us that if they back out from us, like with the 45-day notice, that they would supply us temporarily ambulance service at the same rate that we're paying now, until we can figure everything out.
So Tiffany, you got this on here tonight just for discussion?
Correct.
Make everybody aware of it?
Correct.
Okay, because I was,
You thought you
Yeah.
were gonna act on something and there was
well,
nothing there?
no, I understand that sometimes you have to put stuff on here, and I do too, about this discussion, and I'm good with that. I'm glad we're having this conversation. I would like to see a lot of dollar figures in this situation before we have to vote. I really would.
And that's something that I have asked for from Life for the past 4 or 5 months is give me, how much we're collecting and billing, how much is it costing, I wanna see numbers and I haven't been able to get that. And so, that's some of our initial, communication with them is I would like to see that to be able to justify or see what we need to do.
okay.
So.
So I guess what you're telling us that right now we're okay.
Yes.
And if something changes, you'll let us know.
Yes, if we
And-
used to get official notification from them that they're stopping service or that they have to go up, then we would probably pull you guys in for an emergency meeting or, to see what we're gonna do.
And you might have explained a 522, if we put it to the vote of the people, it has to be 75 days before the election in June. You wouldn't get funded by that 522 till January of 2027?
Correct, so, that's another thing for the town is that, if we have to go, or, the 522 district, we would want to get it on, possibly, sooner than later, because by the time they assess it, then they would not be seeing funds for the 522 district until like 2027. So, the town would still have to cover the cost solely until they started getting funds from that.
Okay.
How does that work?
A 522 district, it is an ad valorem tax, it's 3 mills on levy on property tax.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, for $100,000, it's like $33 a year.
It's not,
If you're assessed at $100,000, it would be like,
Individuals?
yes, so like your property, if it's appraised at $100,000, then it would be $33.
But you're looking at one ambulance service of what we're saying, $800 to $900? It wouldn't that be what they're gonna charge right now, an individual?
An individual, if, let me get
I
my
think
notes here
it's
from
more
the other
than
day.
that, Mike.
So
I
like,
think it's more than that.
Maybe.
just a basic ambulance run is billed out around $800.
Okay.
A lot of times if they're rural and we don't have like dedicated service here, a lot of times if you're in an emergency situation, they're gonna do air med. They're gonna bring in air med, and that's anywhere from $18,000 to $20,000.
At least, yeah.
So,
Nobody likes to see their property tax go up, but you'd hate to be without ambulance service.
Yeah, and I know in the ambulance service the exact same way. The fire department has the biggest coverage area in Kingfisher County, and EMS does as well because we go so far east and west. And I've always been a very strong advocate, because we don't have a hospital, that we need a paramedic level service in Hennessey so that life-saving drugs can be administered, heart medications and things like that. Whether or not we will get that again, I don't know. I know that that would drive the costs up significantly. But I'm just throwing things out there. And I personally, I'm totally in agreement with we need a 522 district. I think it's the only way that an EMS service is gonna survive in Hennessey. I don't cherish the thought of the town giving up some input on that, on what contractor is here and some of the things that I think, that I would like to see us require. Like a new contractor, for instance, wouldn't be allowed to take our unit out of town to run transfers for other communities and things of that nature.
And
But
I
that's
think-
all things we can address
I
later.
think
That's
that'll
not
be,
for
you know,
tonight.
if we were to go for the 522 and it get approved, that would be something between the 522 district, because once the 522 is approved, then the county commissioners will appoint a 522 board.
Correct.
And so that would be, information, you know, between the 522 board and the town board.
I also have like a few pages I found. Kingfisher did their 522, I think you do too.
Yeah.
If anybody needs any copies, I mean, you can sure make copies of it.
So Bert, is that 3 mil set in statute, or if you
Yes.
see that 3 mil
Yes.
is not enough, can you go above
No.
that?
No,
I
3
think
mils
that's
is the
as much
max.
as we can do
That's the
too.
max.
Jared, is that
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
So you won't, the town won't have any control over this, it's all a
I don't
county-
know yet.
That's what I'm,
No,
No, it would be a joint between the 522, if the 522, it'd be a joint effort.
So-
Like, it wouldn't just go on to
maybe
the
some of
county.
our people are gonna be on this board or whatever. No?
It can't be an elected official.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, I mean, our town.
yes, it would be, the people that compose of the board would be in the Hennessey School District.
they would have to come from the Hennessey School District. Barb, there's a 522 district in place for the rest of the county. Everything south of our school
Yeah, I
district,
understand.
so to speak. And I don't want to speak out of turn here, but and this is just me thinking out loud, that, you know, a 522 may not generate enough money to carry it alone. We already know that our sales tax isn't gonna generate enough money to carry it alone. I don't know if the two can join forces and both input
What do
money,
you
can
mean
we?
carry a loan? I don't understand.
Well, we have been collecting sales tax ever since we've contracted the ambulance
Right.
service, 28 years ago, something of that nature. And what we're finding, and this is happening all across the country, is that EMS services are having to go up on what they are paying. For the first time in history, Enid has had to start paying a subsidy to an ambulance service to keep a service there in the community. And so what I'm saying is, we're barely paying that now. And if a provider comes in and says, instead of the 17,000 a month, we're gonna double that and you're gonna have to pay 34, and some communities are paying in the 30,000 range that are smaller than Hennessey, we can't do that out of our sales tax. So we would have, in my opinion, it would come down to the point the voters would have to either approve a 522 district or possibly not have an ambulance service in this area. And I don't think any of us want to see that. I don't.
So what happens to sales tax if we get approved for the 522?
Well, and Harold, that's what I was saying, if we could combine, it may take both. Until
gonna
we get
take both.
numbers, there's too many unknowns.
Like if the 522 covers it, what does that do to our sales tax?
So the sales tax would still be there unless it went to the vote of the people to change it. But also, it's gonna take, just with the preliminary numbers from the assessor and stuff like that, it's gonna take both. And if there's money left over with that 522, like even the fire department, our fire department has med kits and stuff like that so that they could be first responding with medical. They would even be able to possibly buy some of that stuff out of there. They could,
So when we have our ambulance service, would we be more like, Kingfishers where, their fire department runs the ambulance service, or?
our fire department does not want to do that, at this point. So it would probably,
Can I interject something there? From a guy who did that for many, many years, it is very difficult, and I think James would agree with me on that. If the town were to be in the ambulance business, I can foresee another clerk solely billing insurance and Medicare and following up with things like that. There are just so many things involved. I really think it'd be cost prohibitive. We'd have to have full-time people, and I really think our best bet is keeping it with the contractor. I mean, we've had good EMS service in Hennessey for many years from life, and but unfortunately, life is no longer been in that business. So.
The city of El Reno they've just taken over their ambulance, and they're finding out now that it's costing them way more than if they went with a contractor.
The city took it over? Yeah.
and just a little bit on the 522. Right now, Hennessy's school district, their property tax is at 76 mills. And so this 3 mills, if it was approved, went to the vote and got approved, would increase property taxes by only 3.9%. So you could take your property bill, tax bill, and just see what it is. It would be 3.9% is what
And
we come up with.
a lot of ideas have been kicked around, and I'm going back several years, kicked around about putting a levy on each water bill, $3 or $4 a month to help pay for it. The problem with that is that's only the people inside the city limits of Hennessey paying that, and the entire area is using it. And I know that people despise property tax. I'm one of them that grumbles a little bit every year, but 3 mills honestly isn't that much, and I think it's well worth it.
Well, it's how much is a life worth?
Exactly.
So.
I mean, I'd be more than happy if my property taxes went up $30 or $40 a year, just so that me and my family had that available for us. I'll get off my soapbox. When it comes to EMS, I'm.
But there's nothing in stone yet. We're still gathering information, still meeting, coming up with a for sure thing. And I will let you guys know if and when we get a letter from Life for Mercy.
And we still have a little bit of time.
Yes.
So what happens if that petition goes through and the state does away with property taxes?
Well, Tim, I don't know. What I've read about that, I think the property tax that they were talking about would just be on residential homes and not businesses, I think. Which, yeah, it would affect it. I don't know. I personally, I can't see that ever happen because I don't know what they're going to replace that money with. So, I don't know. Okay, anything else on that?
Do you have anything to add, Brandon?
Just that, yeah, we haven't, as far as I know, we haven't heard anything from Mercy yet at all, no contact.
The problem that if we don't move up on that, move on the deal with the 522, if we don't hear nothing from EMS, what happens if they come to us in June and say, hey, we're out of here.
No, I agree.
Well, I would suspect that we will come to you probably sooner than that to, if we decide that we gonna need that 522 to request the county to do that.
522 has to go on a ballot for the citizens to vote on, is that correct, Mike?
Correct.
That is correct, sir.
So we need to knock the lead time in the head to the best of our ability.
So you have to call for the election.
No, the county
County
does.
County does.
We have to put in a request.
Then we have to put it in a resolution to vote for the people.
And depending upon when we can get that in the ballot, you're looking at a year to a year and a half before you can see any.
If we can,
We can do it in 2027 if we haven't put a June election. And we have plenty of time, we have 75 days.
we're
But I-
trying to make sure we have all the numbers, like, cause you know, you want numbers, and so we're trying to get the numbers before we, you know,
Well, and the people are gonna want, no, 'cause first thing everybody's
Absolutely.
gonna ask
No,
is how much is my
absolutely.
tax gonna go up?
Yeah,
yeah.
You don't want to surprise them with a bunch of false information.
No, absolutely.
And these
not.
are just preliminary numbers because the county, I met Friday with Mike and the county clerk, and they had their accountant there kind of throwing numbers, you know, so these are just numbers that he just like put in the computer real fast. I mean, so we're trying to get all of that before we decide what needs to be done.
And there's examples, I got examples in my bag of how a person can estimate what their tax would go up with that 3 meals, so.
That's why I said right now 76 meals is what they're at, and so we would be looking 3 meals would be 3.9%. Because I got schooled Friday in millage. I did not understand that, and so.
All right, 6.6, discussion with possible action to change employee vacation leave accruals and usage.
So the way that we're currently set up is that employees are here a full year once they're hired. So say we had somebody hired on November 1st, because these are the situations we're getting into. Somebody hired on November 1st, they would not get vacation leave until November 1st of the next year. Well, the way everything's set up, they would get 2 weeks of vacation November 1st. They would have to have it completely used by December 31st. Not only that, everyone else who has vacation has to have a zero balance on January. Whatever balance they have on December 31st gets deleted. Like, it starts over. So, and we have to manually go in and put those hours. So I have a lot of people wanting off to use their vacation in December, November and December. So,
Because they're running out of time and want
Yes.
to use it up? Okay.
because a lot of times they don't want to use it at the beginning of the year because they think, what if I need it? You know, what if I need it? So, I'm asking that the board consider changing the policy. When a person is hired, I would like for them to start accruing when they get hired. And then they would be able to start using it after 3 months. And then, but they would accrue every paycheck. Because then our computer system would do it for us. And we would not have to manually go in and put vacation hours. And then at their anniversary date, they could carry over, say, 80 hours, 40 hours, whatever you guys say. But it would be based on anniversary date. This way, I don't have literally graveyard shift working in December. I mean, it would help spread it out. Plus, people would be able to, you know, see what they're getting every month or every paycheck.
So, first day, employee starts accruing vacation time, but they're not allowed to use it for 3 months. As it is currently, they don't start accruing for 3 months, is that correct?
For vacation, they don't get any vacation hours for a year. They can't take vacation for a year. on their year anniversary, they get 80 hours put into their bank.
Wow.
So a person could work 3 months and get 80 hours of vacation?
No.
Okay,
So
I'm a little
the way
bit
I-
lost.
So the way it is they would start accruing. So you take 80 hours and you divide it by 26 pay
Okay,
periods.
I see.
That's how much they would accrue every pay period.
I understand. Okay, that makes more sense.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they wouldn't get 80 hours at 3 months. They would get
Right.
whatever their accrual
Okay.
rate is based on what they get.
And then they have till the end of the year to use the rest of that 80?
No. So they would accrue and then come their anniversary date, they could carry, if
So
they
if
could
they
carry
would-
over some to their next year.
Plus the other 80 they're gonna get.
Well, they would never get 80. They would get so much per paycheck.
And at 1.5 days a month, and it goes out to, 2 weeks.
I didn't do the calculation, so 80 hours divided by 26. They would get like 3 hours a paycheck. And as it is now, everybody gets their vacation on January 1st. So you take somebody who is here on January 1st, gets their however many hours, say they quit on February 1st, they get all their hours paid for the year because you pay out vacation.
Some companies, major companies, they don't allow you to take vacation from like November 15th to January 15th. Would that not help you?
No.
I just think that the way, I would like to change so that our computer system would automatically figure the hours for us and we're not going in there and adding hours. Because then there should be no adding hours.
No
in there.
human error
No
involvement,
human error.
yeah.
So it'd occur like our sick time, basically.
Correct, yes. Yes. Like sick is automatically accrued with our computer system. We never touch that. So I would like,
I'm sure that's a huge headache to do that manually.
well, it is, because then you gotta think of who's been here a year and when do they get it? Because man, if you don't get it on their check when they've been here a year, then they're already like on you.
I bet.
One other thing I might mention that I've seen a lot of places start to do is just because you started talking about carrying over, just a max that you can bank. So instead of, you can roll over so many, it's just like whenever you get to, maybe it's 160 hours or whatever the number is, you just stop accruing because that's the most. You've got to use it to bring it back down below that. I don't know if that helps at all.
It does, because our computer system will see that. Right now, like our sick is maxed at 960 hours. So if somebody gets to 960, they're not gonna accrue any more time.
So there might be something else to consider in all that.
Well, I think that's a good idea, because I was sitting here thinking somebody could build up tons of vacation time and,
We need automation.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because that's, you can take the human out of that.
Or give us more vacation time.
So Tiffany, what is your options on this? Are you just putting this out here for us
Well,
to discuss?
discuss, and then if you guys, then I can throw
like
it
the
into
idea
a
of putting a
policy.
max on it, if you wanna do that and bring it back.
Okay,
What's your thoughts on that, guys?
I'm like, yeah, I like to see a max on it.
Yeah. So we wanna just table that and
Yeah.
bring it back up?
do you have any other comments or anything?
I don't.
I don't either.
Harold?
No.
Okay. Okay, we'll table that. 6.7, discussion with possible action to increase pay for public works employees in place of providing clothing and boot vouchers.
So since before my time, they've given the water and outside workers boot vouchers where they could go get boots, and then a clothing voucher for winter clothes, whatever. It totals just about $500. It's like 400, 500 for each employee
Per year?
per year. So my thing is, I would like to possibly, in which, if you take that divided by 2,080 hours, which they work, is like 25 cents, 24 cents, 25 cents. So instead of us having to keep track of, this person is due for a boot voucher, this person's due for a clothing voucher, you know, and then having to go to Atwoods, then we just increase their pay and then they're responsible for their boots and their clothes.
I have one question about that, and I just now thought of it. What if an employee buys the most inexpensive boot they can get, and it's not steel-toed and not approved for safety purposes? Would we have, because I assume that we're requiring the boots we're buying we're not? Okay,
No, there's no requirement as steel-toed or not.
really? That surprises me.
Luckily, everybody does get them.
I think that should be a, Jared,
Yeah, no,
are we out of
I
line
certainly
to
like the
require
idea.
that?
It just, it decreases your liability on things a little bit. And I would think if you're updating policy, it's something you could add in there
I don't
that,
know that they're required to. Because sometimes they wear tennis shoes, especially when they're reading meters or, you know, which we don't have to really do that anymore. They drive around in a vehicle, but,
So what happens when you have someone that they're tenured if they don't get to, continue to get raises?
this has nothing to do with them at this point,
So it won't have nothing.
not me.
I don't know,
I mean, if
I'm
you
sitting
guys,
here thinking because I can,
because,
we're opening a can of worms here because I feel like people running equipment and doing heavy labor should be in steel-toed boots and protected as well as we can. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised we're not, because I thought we were. But I can see times when that wouldn't be necessary also, so.
I like you, I thought we was in still too. Well, everybody was.
You're
well, I
asking,
just
I mean,
know
I
I see
think
people
that's-
coming in here in hey dudes and tennis shoes and.
you're asking the wrong guy if you ask me, because I'm a firm believer in uniforms.
We did uniforms before, but they cost us so much money.
Tons.
So much money. It was about $30 an employee per week.
Tiffany, I hate to do this, but I'd really like to think about this a little longer.
No, that's fine. I just trying to make things a little bit,
I mean, I'd like to see it on the next agenda. I don't wanna forget about it, but I really feel like we need to look into that.
okay.
I really do. Everybody okay with that?
I am.
Okay, 6.8, discussion and/or possible action on town fire hydrants replacement, intervals for functionality and serviceability checks, how these checks are documented, and which town employees are responsible for accomplishment of these checks.
That there's mine, so our fire department just got done checking our fire hydrants for us. And I appreciate you guys doing it. You know, a couple questions I gotta ask you. What's our fire hydrants look like? Brandon?
Well, for the most part, they're some of them, you know, had their deficiencies where the caps were hard to get off. Typical maintenance, you know, just neglect, basically, you might say. But as we went through and checked them and got them busted back off, we lubricated the caps before we put them back on. That's, you know, just on nobody's fault, it's just typical checking them out. Some of them, the stems were hard to turn, but that could just be a sign of age, could be a sign of, you know, sediment or something in the lines. But we did get, for the most part, I think we got them all opened and checked. There was a few that were on the list that had possibly been removed. Removed since we checked them, or since they were checked last anyway. So.
You got a couple on Oklahoma that I gotta ask you questions about. One on Cheyenne, Oklahoma, where you stated the stem's broke, it won't open or close.
Do you have a hydrant number? What?
I do not, sir.
You have the sheet?
No.
Yeah, you do. Is that sheet emailed to them?
That was the email, yeah.
What do you say? What was the comment on it you said?
Number 84.
84? Okay, what about
It
it?
is spun.
Yeah,
It is
it's
spun.
in front of Lot's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do we need to do about fixing that?
It was turned in.
All right.
I'm not a hydrant fixer, sir.
So, anyway, what about the one on 711, I think it's 711 East Oklahoma? In front of the school? Or in front of the,
Dome,
dome?
The one in front of the dome?
it's dead.
That one's actually getting fixed tomorrow.
Is it?
When they did that water line project, they cut it on the wrong side of the valve. And then in order to keep it from flowing out into the ditch, we had to close another valve.
So who's,
We got that one.
because the contractor did that, correct?
Yeah.
So who's fixing it? Why isn't,
To
why?
get them back out here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Be an act of Congress.
Because this really irks me that a contractor that we paid to come in and do that water, the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, do that water line project along Mitchell Road in front of the schools, caused that hydrant in front of the dome, the most expensive piece of public property in the community, to not have a working fire hydrant, and he didn't fix it. Do we have any recourse, Mr. Attorney?
Well, I think we probably
look
need
at
to
it all.
contact him to
Right.
see if he would come out to do it. I think our guys seen it, because we got this list from Brandon, and so I think that our guys just decided, we'll just go in and fix it.
Is it,
Super simple.
it's not a hard fix? Okay, okay. I'm just thinking if we're talking cutting street,
Oh, no.
getting into a big thing, it just,
Yeah.
I'm just not pleased that a contractor did that to us and went off and left it.
No, it's pretty.
My question is,
Easy.
why did we approve the project with the, knowing that was not done right?
Well, we probably didn't know it until they went and they tested fire hydrants.
Yeah.
But anyway, so who actually goes out and checks their fire hydrants?
We did this year.
Yes, sir. And did you guys get paid for that?
Not that I'm aware of.
So why did we not pay them to check our,
We pay them whatever time they turn in.
so if they could bill us for the checking them? Is it the responsibility of the fire department or is it the responsibility of our water department to test the fire hydrants?
Harold, in the past, we've done it both ways.
I think that's a good checks and balances that, they check it and we check it because, you know, we could be saying something or giving them, but they're actually the ones utilizing them so that they know where they're at, you know, and which ones are their good ones, not so good, and also giving us feedback of which ones, what we need to do with them.
Cause like on our ISO reports, do we get better breaks if we check them frequently or once a
We're
year?
required to
once
check them
6
annually.
months?
And Brandon, I wanted to comment on something you said about, you said something about due to neglect, but they're tested every year. So I don't want the public to get the idea that these hydrants have been not looked at for
And neglect is.
10 or 15 years.
is
You
a-
following me?
That's a bad term to use. The lack of use
Yeah,
is a better way to use that,
right.
because
But they
we
do
don't
get
have a structure
opened
fire
and
that
tested
we don't
annually.
need it. But yes, sitting there annually, they're gonna rust up, they're gonna seize up on the caps, things like that. But checked annually and tested. And to comment as far as both fire department and city employees checking it, it also works as a good training tool for our guys to get out to learn where the hydrants are and know if we do have an instance, what hydrants we're gonna use, or the good ones, the bad ones, so forth, which one's gonna pull more, or flow better to be able to be used for a bigger fire. I think it all goes hand in hand on being used as far as if the town's checking them, they get to see the ones where the stems are broken, or, hey, we got a hydrant listed here that is no longer in service because it's not found. Well, then we can take it off the list. It helps the list all correlate and we can all work together that way and know what does work and what doesn't.
Is there a color code that you guys, to paint these fire hydrants by pressure?
There is a color code that can be utilized for it that helps departments find that. They've found that a lot of departments are going to these rings that you can put on there to color code them versus painting them, because over time paint fades, chips, changes colors, whatever you want to word it. So a lot of companies or a lot of fire departments have went to having these rings put on to designate what flow they can get out of what hydrant. I've also talked to fire chiefs today too, that they kind of quit doing that anyway because the flows do change over time. You know, you might one year check it and it'd be over 500 GPMs, and the next year you might come check it and it might be under 500, which would cause for a color change on that. And then the next year it might be back over 500 again, you know. So then you're constantly changing rings and.
Wouldn't that kind of help though if you knew low pressure versus high pressure?
Well, it's not a matter necessarily of pressure, it's just a matter of how many GPMs we get out of it. It does help the guys to know which ones are the better hydrants in town.
I've seen a lot of ours are 1100, and I've seen some of them dropping down to 500-600, you know?
Some of them are lower, yep.
How many hours do you guys have into checking these and into doing your report?
So because of us being volunteers and going out and checking them, you know, we had to do it when guys were available to go do it. Say we had one guy that had a couple hours to go kill, he went and checked, 4 or 5 hydrants in an hour, something like that. We had one day where Tyson had, his guys were low on work and he utilized them and they came out and checked, I don't know, how many hydrants did you check that day?
52 that day.
So they checked a big bulk of them out there together that day.
Well, you guys think you need to get paid for that?
There's a lot we do on the fire department, and we're considered volunteer, Harold, so at what point do we stop calling us volunteer and call us full-time to be able to do it?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys doing that and, you know, getting it all done, you know, so that's all I got on it.
Bert, I agree with Harold. If it's all possible, I think we should figure out a way to pay those guys some money for doing that.
I'll have to look. 'Cause
you're
those
gonna
rules
get
of Volunteer
into,
departments
yeah.
are pretty strict at times, but it doesn't mean there's not some creative workaround, we can certainly look at it. But,
That's my opinion.
sure,
One thing I'd like to add, Harold, you brought up the ISO, and I'm glad you did. 40% of our ISO rating is based on water supply. And Hennessey, especially for a town this size, knocks it out of the park on water availability, hydrant availability, and when our hydrants flow. And I've said this so many times over the last years, I know you all are tired of hearing it, but our ISO class rating has gone from an 8 to a 3, with 1 being the best. Very few departments in the entire state are class 1. And our water supply does figure into that heavily. So I feel like that the citizens should take comfort in knowing that we've got a good coverage area, we've got a good fire department. Otherwise, we wouldn't be a class 3.
I had talking with Enid Fire and trying to research this and Kingfisher Fire, and I had them double checking some of my numbers today and having them plug it in just to make sure what I was doing was correct. And when I gave him our readings and stuff, his first comment was, wow. So that's really good. I know the lady that used to be with ISO, Lois Spin, that comes and helps us on occasion, she's made several good remarks towards our water supply system. So that really helps, and with the fact that we've done so much training here this last year or so,
That's huge.
that will help. That's been one of our downfalls, is the fact that the water supply's been so good, and then the training down lower, that there's that difference gap that we actually lose points for. So with all that training, I've hoped to close that gap some, because I definitely don't want to lower the water supply.
What you've got to remember too, when Brandon's talking about training, ISO is comparing the training Hennessey firefighters get, comparing that to training Oklahoma City and Tulsa firefighters get when they are on 24-hour shifts and do 8 hours a day of that, just solid training day after day after day. So that doesn't mean our people aren't training or are not training up to standard. They're doing amazing things as far as training. And while we're on that subject, I would like to also say, because I feel like many people in the public don't know this, that our fire station has become a training hub for northwestern Oklahoma for sure.
Well, FEMA even came into it.
Who did?
FEMA.
FEMA. OSU Fire Service Training loves to schedule classes in Hennessey, Oklahoma. So if you drive by there on a weekend and you see 25 vehicles out there, there's some kind of regional training going on. And it's just like anything else we have in town. Those people are eating somewhere, they're buying fuel, they're contributing to our economy. So I want to say kudos to you guys on the fire department for getting that done and being willing to host those classes. You really, as far as fire training goes, you put Hennessey on the map.
Well, thank you. We've had several comments towards that. Several people have definitely, like I said, FEMA's came by and looked at our facility and discussed about classes. OSU Fire Service, they've been out here several times and made the comment, any class you guys want to host, let us know. And with the ISO and that training, that doesn't count what grassland training we get. Only about 90% of them training hours have to be structural firefighting training in order to get credit ISO wise for that. And so that's why we put on several of them classes that got a lot of hours.
Anything else?
No, I'm good, as long as we can get, It's just said that them two fire hydrants getting fixed, so it's good. Like you, I think we should have that company do them.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that contract. But, okay, new business. Councilperson report, Harold,
I don't got that.
Dave?
I got a couple of things real quick. Jared, have you got any feedback from the state auditors?
I have not had a chance to reach back out after our last meeting, so I will try to do that, just because it would be nice to know. I'm still hopeful because they've released several here as of late, so hopefully ours is coming soon, so we can close that out, but I will get that done before the next meeting.
Thank you, sir. Tiffany, any invoices from them?
Nope, and even our auditor, RLH and them, they even reached out to them, and I don't know if they got word back, but I was tagged in an email that they sent to them.
I saw an
So-
article yesterday, I think it was, that the state auditors asked for more funding for additional auditors because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
so far behind, but
Yeah.
that's not helping us any.
Yeah, understand. Alyssa, have you made any progress on the pickleball research?
No, not yet. Kinda had Jamie working on that, seeing what it would
Okay.
cost and.
David, we did a survey on all about Hennessey, and I think we gave them three choices: basketball only, pickleball only, or combination. And the overwhelming was combination. And there was about 30 comments about taking the telephone pole out of the middle of the court. So that's, seems like the overall consensus is a dual purpose court.
Okay, and my last item is, Jack, have we made any progress or got anything accomplished on the pavilion?
It's all about funding. We're just waiting to get more money to be able to put walls up and things like that. I don't wanna come to you guys and say, hey, $100,000 will make this great.
Sure.
So I've talked to Richard Simonek about possibly taking a little bit of the library money and moving it over to the pavilion, I call it the pavilion park, kind of a thing. And I really think the foundation that Scotty Hike started, and Tiffany and I had a meeting with them a year or so ago, that's the direction we need to go with that, is that we get a foundation where we collect, money from donors and then get into the foundation, and it generates income, and then that money goes to
Yeah, so
finishing it out.
you talked about grants a couple of meetings ago, maybe more.
Yeah, I applied for 3.
All the grants have been denied, or?
Yes, they've all been turned down. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Grant money is not out there like it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we search pretty regularly, and there's crickets for anything
Yeah.
of that
got
nature.
it, got it. Thank you, sir.
Anything else?
That's it.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call?
Bert,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
I think I lost my paper. Is it my right one?
Sometimes you gotta give her time to switch over.
Yeah.
I don't know where my other paper went. Okay, Bert,
Here.
Harold,
Here.
Dave.
Here.
Okay, consider approval of consent agenda, minutes of the previous month's meeting. Approval of claims as follows: Hennessey Utility Authority Fund, $203,172.21. Previous month Hennessey Utility Authority Fund, $436.11. Approved pay application number 3 for F5 construction for the bulk water station. RIG grant number 20154 project.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second? Roll call?
Harold,
Yes.
Bert,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yes.
Citizens' comments? Other scheduled business. 4.1, discussion with possible action on new town of Hennessey travel policy. I believe we've covered that in the previous meeting.
We gotta make a motion to approve it.
Yeah,
Make a motion to approve the new town of Hennessey travel policy.
second,
Harold,
Yes.
Bart,
yes.
Dave.
Yes,
Table that.
4.2, we can table because we tabled at the previous meeting. 5, new business. Councilperson's report, Dave,
nothing, sir.
Harold?
I just want to tell you firefighters, thank you for showing up and giving us your input. And Mike, for everything you do for us. So,
Agree.
appreciate it.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Bart,
Yes.
Harold, and Dave.
Yes.